Back in the old XP days.
I mean, as an auditor, you want to see the banks opening, the banks don't have it. You just have a transactional. Which I'll put one and show it. What's up? Feels like that recognize students here that are going to stand up and do performance. Great.
Yes.
Right, so they're going to perform for us, and we're going to recognize them.
All right, I want to welcome you all here this evening for the Gilmer County Elementary Local School Improvement Council presentation. Board members, I'd like to thank you all for being here this evening and allowing us this opportunity to highlight some of the positive things that we have going on here at Gilmer County Elementary School. First of all, I also want to thank the Local School Improvement Council here at Gilmer County Elementary School. This is their presentation. We had our last meeting in November. We had 2 meetings this year. Those meetings are required in West Virginia State Code. State Code stipulates who is a member, or at least what types of positions, how many folks we have to have in this council. But I don't think that we could ask for a better council at Gilmer County. They were very active in this. And so this truly is an LSIC presentation to you this evening. And I'm very pleased for you guys to see some of the things that are going on here. So without any further delay from me, I would like to ask Mrs. Becky Chester to come up here. She's going to talk and demonstrate with you guys what number talks is. And you've probably heard us talk about number talks at board meetings before, but it's time that you guys actually see it in action. Thank you, Mrs. Chester.
For those of you that don't know, I'm Becky Chesser. I teach 4th grade in Gilmer Elementary. This is my 12th year of teaching, my 9th year in 4th grade. And then I'm also the math tutor for the Save the Children Wildcat University program. Last summer, we adopted a curriculum through Save the Children, and part of that math curriculum is a math talk where we introduce different strategies to students, and they mentally compute math problems in their head using different strategies. And this is just a little piece of what it looks like for you guys. All right, boys and girls, thank you for this up. Thank you. Today we're going to review the give and take strategy. Who can tell me what the give and take strategy is? Lucas.
It's where you take a friendly number and then add it to another number and make it easier to add.
Okay, our goal is to get to an easier number to compute. So I'm going to take a number or an amount from one number that I'm adding or subtracting. I'm going to give it to my other one, okay? Ready? What is 200 plus 320? Thank you. Grayson, what did you get? 520. Please give him the sign if you agree with his answer, or raise your hand if you got something different. Okay, Grayson, what was your strategy?
3 plus 2 equals 5. 2 plus 0 equals 2.
Okay. So how do I add my 2 and my 5 to get 520? 500 plus 20, right. I know that this 3 and this 2 are not just 3s and 2s, right? How much is that 3 worth? 300 plus 200 equals 500, and that 2, how do I know that that 2 is a 20? Because it's in my tens place. Thank you, Grayson. So we have 520, and 500 plus 20 is? Very good. Did anybody have a different strategy or a different way? Lucas,
I did the standard.
you did the standard algorithm. Please explain that for us, please.
I did
Up and down. Okay, so how do I set that up?
You do 320 plus 200.
200. Okay,
To 0, you put your zeros on the end.
okay.
Then that down. And then 3 plus 2 is 5.
Very good, thank you. Let's try one more. What is 195 plus 325? Henry, what did you get?
I got 520.
Give Henry the sign if you agree with his answer, or raise your hand if you got another answer. All right, Henry, please explain your strategy.
So first I took, I'm going to give it a take.
Okay.
So first I took 5 from the 325.
Okay.
Added it to 195 to 200.
Okay.
So now all I have to do is do 200 plus 320.
And that equals?
It equals 520.
Very good. Did anybody do a different strategy? All right, thank you guys, good job. This curriculum is something that we have taken from the Save the Children program, and we are actually using it from grades kindergarten through 5th grade every day in our school just to help, and everything goes back to basic number sense and the conversations that children have and bouncing ideas and talking about math to each other. So, thank you.
Good job, guys.
Mrs. Jeffers, thank you. Students, thank you, guys. And we didn't bring you in here to teach you math. I don't want you to think that. But we did want you to see what a math conversation looks like at Gilmer Elementary. So you can ask your kids, hey, what are you guys talking about in math today? But this is the real excitement right here. I have Mrs. Leggett and the Gilmer County Elementary School choir here with us.
It's great to have an audience to put these kids in front of. They've been incredibly excited this evening. I can't tell you how much. They're ready to go. They already had one performance on Saturday downtown before the Christmas parade. And we're going to do 4 numbers for you. And before I get closer to forget about it, I want to remind everybody, our concert here at school is Tuesday, December 20th at 1 o'clock. We'd like everybody to come. And in addition to that, the high school band is going to come out. So we're going to have every band and choir member in the county going to be in the gym, plus several of our faculty members and community band members are joining in too, and we're really excited about it. We would love it if you could all be there at 1 o'clock, December 20th. And now we're going to start with Winter Fantasy, which is, you'll recognize Jingle Bells in this, and another melody. And what is it called, kids, when 2 songs fit together really well like that? Right, okay. So here we go.
Snowflakes falling all over town, slipping, sliding, everybody rushing round. There's an icy chill in the air, telling us that winter's really here. Oh,
And next, we're going to do a song, which is our wish for you and everybody this season. It's called May There Be Goodwill. I have all of my students sing this, and we talk about what goodwill is, because we really need to have more of that in this world.
Now is the time of our people. Now is the time for goodwill. Now is the time to love one another. Now is the time for goodwill. May there be
And now, the reason these three are over here, not just to be pretty faces, they are my bell ringers, and this song is called Christmas in the Valley. And our closing wish for you, to all a Merry season.
Thank you, guys. Great job. I'll be up all day. You want drums? Come to the Christmas conference. I'll say they'll be good. They'll be drums. 37 years, we're way behind. Hard to follow that up on that. We have a lot of things to be proud of here at Gilmer County Elementary, and one of those things that we're very proud of as well is our after-school program. And Ms. West has her hand in a lot of different things here at Gilmer County Elementary School. One of the things that she does, and she does a wonderful job with, is running our after-school program. So I would like for her to speak about that because she knows more about it than I do, and she does a wonderful job. Thank you, Ms. West.
Hello. We have 35 students enrolled in our program at this point, which allows us room for 10 more to join us. They've got some pictures we're going to show you. So I'll let Mr. Price. Of course, this program is funded with partnerships with 21st Century Grant and Save the Children. There was a commercial made this summer. Sarah Weber is our contact with Save the Children, and Gilmer County kids are being featured a lot of places, national presentations, pictures will pop up, and she sends me emails telling me, oh, Gilmer County was there again, we saw Gilmer County kids again. So we're very thankful for that opportunity. When the children come, we always have dinner. Miss Lori enjoys cooking for us at after school, and the kids, they like telling her what they like and what they don't like. We also have a lot of children who we take time with to teach them to try new bites. We have one fifth grader who's learned to really like kiwi. In fact, he wants to know where the kiwi is, when's the delivery truck coming. So we have some conversations about that. Let's take you through some of the pictures. When we Oh,
A little bit back.
yeah, okay. So, pumpkin pie, this is something we did last year and again this year. A lot of the kids have never had pumpkin pie by a pie slice. And so last year when we did this, they were like, wow, give them the Cool Whip. And so of course Lori did it again this year, and they all got their slice of pumpkin pie, and that was a big deal. So even food experiences, that was part of summer foods too. Then after dinner, we go into rotation. Once a month, our families come and we celebrate the kids, and so you can see even Miss Lori has a certificate. Little State University, who's been with us several times, and we've got more plans for the next semester, and this is just going. They were here last week and did Lego robotics with us, one of the science groups. And so they'll be coming back in the spring 3 times, partner with us after school and do some science things with us. They've also been with us to present $200 for our attendance award from one of the early ed groups. They've made that donation. So once a month at this family celebration, we draw a name who's had perfect attendance, and they're giving a $25 gift card to ball. So they really like that. So here's the robotics again. And this was with Dr. Coogan. And then cyber video, once the kids have dinner, we go into 4 rotations. Every evening they have 30 minutes of math, which you saw the number talks, that takes about 15. Then they do hands-on with math for 15. Then they move to a healthy choices time. That's in the gym. It's very active. It's team building. There's nutrition lessons. Then there's a time where they read independently, 2nd through 5th grade. We have some students who are in 1st grade, but based on their STAR benchmarks, they're already in that 2nd grade group reading after school. So we're going to keep pushing for that. Those who are kindergarten 1st graders, they work on phonetic skills at after school, and everyone has a read aloud half an hour. So it's 2 hours. It's very structured, but then we also do a lot of these fun type activities. We also have a 4-H Wildcat Club that meets once a month, and Jenny Mullins comes and she leads that. And our students elected officers, so they actually get to lead the meeting. So when I said this evening would be a business meeting, I said, what does that mean? Well, they'll make motions, and someone will have to second the motion. I said, yes, that's what's going to be happening, and we are not going to disrupt. But I think we're all in the gym, and we will be leaving about 5:45. We have 2 buses that will. This is a picture. We asked Gilmer State University, the early ed, to come over and actually make that first presentation. And so here's Dr. Odell and one of the students. Oh, yes. And we went swimming last week. Mr. Price and Mr. Fox have been very supportive of and just very proud of these kids who stay 2.5 hours extra. I think tonight's number 52 that they have been doing this, and their attendance, we have excellent attendance. So at 2:15, he called them out of class. They went out and got on the bus. They left school, and everybody else had to stay. And they thought that right there was, we could have gone around the loop 3 or 4 times. But we went up to the gym. They changed. They talked with us. They were in that water at 3, and they did not come out till 5. I did not have one child complaining, one child sitting over shivering. No, they went solid 2 hours. So this is a picture, and then the next picture, if I were to have it on this, but it isn't. They're all laying in the hallway upstairs. 2 of them actually fell asleep waiting for the buses to come. So we had a really great time. And you can see family came. Families are invited to come and join in on this activity. And then parent engagements, having our families to come. And when we have our celebration nights, we always engage in some type of an activity. We've had not just with numeracy. This was a night we did some reading. We actually showed them what the half-hour burp looks like. And so this is a mom reading with her son. And this is another picture from, okay, yes. And then the big blue blocks were there too, so I think that's all. Okay, thank you. I'm going back to
So along with the after-school program, we have a partnership with Save the Children that we've talked about with this board, a lot of things we're very proud of. Not only the after-school program, but we also do what's called Kinder Boost, which is a kindergarten readiness program. Students transitioning from preschool to kindergarten have an opportunity to come in for a few days before school starts, sometime in the summer, to meet their teacher, to meet their friend, their new classmates. We extend that also to students who never went to preschool. It's great for students that are just coming in kindergarten and for the first time. And so they structured that program for us. They donated upwards of, I think it was $250,000 worth of food to Gilmer County, not just the schools, but Gilmer counties in general. We were setting up food trucks, and we had several of them. Each one of them was to the tune of about $30,000 that came to this community, and it was very, very well received. But that all took place because of a partnership that we have with Save the Children. They also structure our summer school program as well. They are a very results, data-driven program, and I think that our student achievement is going to be increased by our partnership with them as well. So I just wanted to kind of touch on a couple of those things as well. Next, I'd like to just explain a little bit about what probably my most opinionated advisory council is here at Gilmer County Elementary School. I work with a leadership team. I work with a faculty senate. I work with, an LSIC, all sharing their thoughts and opinions with me, but the most opinionated would have to be for sure the Gilmer County Elementary School Wildcat Pack. And that consists of students from kindergarten to 5th grade. We have 3 representatives from kindergarten and 5th grade level all the way through the 5th grade. We meet once a month. And our students, I will bring agenda items to the meeting. Our students will also bring agenda items to the meeting. It is a real leadership opportunity for those students. And we had some teachers that interviewed some students just to say a couple of words about the Wildcat Pack. So I'd like to show you this video. And in full disclosure, there's a little lag between these screens here. So I will direct your attention to that one because that's where your volume is going to come from. So it's not so confusing.
We voted in my classroom and I just got picked because our whole class was voting and we had this paper and Miss Smith made us vote, and I got picked the most. I got picked to be in the Wildcat Pack because my classmates picked me and my friends, and when we're in the meetings we talk about our school and how to keep it better and the environment.
So the question that they were posed there was, how did you get on the Wildcat Pack? And we used that as an opportunity to talk about what an election is and for students to be able to, let's say, sell themselves with their skills to their classmates, and then they facilitated in those homerooms an election. Now that was at the upper grade levels, and at the lower grade levels, I'm not talking kindergarten, 1st grade, we just said to the teacher, hey, pick us a student you think might be able to share some things in the Wildcat. So we meet once a month. We've got a meeting coming up here pretty soon. But the feedback that I get from them is very interesting. I will hear about things that are on the menu that they may not really love. And I've got one coming because I got caught in the hallway the other day. Hey, I've got an agenda item for the Wildcat Pack. I said, what's that? We should have salt at the salad bar. Okay, and it's a great idea. And she said, like the salt packs, it's good for breakfast. Fair point. So what I plan to do, I haven't talked to Mr. Frazier about this yet. I plan to get a written email from Mr. Frazier explaining why maybe we can't do that. I'm not going to predetermine that, but I'm going to talk to him about that. Hey, great idea, great important stuff, get that package of salt, that's fine. Here, we're really not allowed to do that. But again, that's the process in action. They have an idea, they want something, they bring it to the Wildcat Pack. We also brought the swing sets that we have through there. That started originally in a different way. It didn't start with the Wildcat Pack, but I brought that. We have a swing set that we installed there a while back, brought that to the Wildcat Pack. Hey, what do you think about this? Is this something that we would want? Would we want something different? Obviously, they really like it because we brought the swing sets out there now. Oh, I don't know. Okay, next, you all have heard me talk at length about Department compartmentalization at Gilmer County Elementary School. It's a very big shift in how we approach the school year this year. And so I'm sure you guys don't want to hear me talk about it anymore. So we have some student statements here for you that we've recorded. And then I would ask Mrs. Frazier is also here to talk a little bit about departmentalization as well.
I like changing classes because different teachers have different strengths and they're better at teaching some things than other teachers.
I like changing classes because you don't have to sit in the same seat and you get a little stretch and like you don't have to be learning math and then after that you hurry up and go to science.
I like changing classrooms because it's a good experience. So I like changing classes because we're so busy and it's an school.
Okay, so I spent a lot of time talking to fifth graders. What do you like about this? What do you not like? And Gordon probably hit the nail on the head with most of the fifth graders. They like getting out of their seats. They like moving around. They like switching classes. You know, it kind of breaks up the monotony of the day. You're both communicating teachers. So that was one of their favorite things. Now, when you try something new, there's always going to be negatives and positives to everything. But here's some positive things that I've seen with students and teachers both. The teachers can really focus on their content area. You know, when you're only teaching one or two subjects, you can really focus on what you're teaching, dig into those standards, which in return is going to lead to better instruction. And I think the kids are actually getting that's one of the benefits for them this year. Increased engagement. I don't know if you heard Isabella, but she said, we're busy all day long. And with that, they're able to move around. When they're able to move around, their focus increases in class. Like they're not lost because they're sitting in the same seat all day. They can really engage in what it is that the teacher wants them to do. You know, we do this through whole group instruction, small group instruction. You can individualize for the advanced students, have them working on projects. So it's just been better to meet the needs, all the different learning styles for the students. One of the biggest things I've noticed is building relationships with students. You know, you kind of have your kids, your 20 kids that are your babies throughout the year. I don't know, anywhere from probably 45 to 60 that we see throughout the day. So, you know, the students are having to communicate with different teachers, see what it's like to have to meet the needs or the expectations of those teachers, really just setting them up for the future, getting them prepared for what they're going to have to deal with later. Another one, a big one that I really like to focus on is the optimized learning time. We were in self-contained last week, but there was a lot of content to cover in one day. One person had to focus on teaching so many different things, getting those instructional minutes, making sure you're covering these standards. It's kind of overwhelming at times. A lot of us are guilty, you know, I don't think I covered this as well. Let me just pull some time from this. You know, science and social studies a lot of times, something we pulled from. But with us being compartmentalized now, the kids are getting taught all the content areas every single day. So it's been very beneficial for them. Obviously, our ultimate goal is to improve student achievement. And then a big transition that I see happening, you know, not just with fifth graders. Of course, I'm looking at a fifth grade teacher getting these kids ready for middle school. We're starting at such an early age, the second grade, preparing them for the future. You know, they're learning to change classes. They're learning to build rapport with different teachers, different adults. And I think one of the biggest things that I see with fifth graders, they're so stressed out about changing classes, going to a new building. This is going to decrease some of that stress, I think, because they're already used to that and just getting acclimated with so many different people. That's going to be something that they've done for years by the time our second graders are going to middle school. And another thing, when Dr. Birch was superintendent of West Virginia, one of the things that he always said, that always stuck out to me, is find that one caring adult. And kids have so many caring adults in their life now. They have so many teachers that they can turn to. So that's just one thing that I see happening here at Gilmer County Elementary School is we're motivated for teachers and students.
Mrs. Frazier, thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, so we talked about math. We did a math lesson with you guys a little bit ago, having that conversation about numeracy. I want to have Mrs. Poole up here now. One of the big, I spoke with Dr. Denny about this, and there's a large initiative now at the state focused on the science of reading. And I really was excited to hear that because that tells me that I think Gilmer County Elementary School is right on track with things right now because we are implementing a supplemental curriculum that is based on the science of reading. But Mrs. Poole can talk about this better than I.
My concern is that we teach our kids how to read, is my big concern. So I want to talk about this program that we have adopted, it's called Reading Horizons. We've begun implementing it at our school this year, for the first time, so we're learning as we're going. There are two components of Reading Horizons. We have Discovery, which takes place in K through 3, and we have Elevated, which is in grades 4 through 5. Every child receives 30 minutes of instruction daily in a core class. And then students who require extra support, they pull out Title I services or special education services. It has created a lot of excitement with our kids and with our teachers. Our teachers at first were not very happy because we started compartmentalizing, and then we introduced this program. We got a little angry at times, but some of those angriest teachers are our biggest supporters now. So we're seeing a lot of good things happening in our classroom. We chose this program because we've been looking at our data, and our data shows that we have a significant need for phonics and spelling instruction. Phonics and spelling go hand in hand. Reading and spelling go hand in hand. They say reading is like breathing in, while spelling is like breathing out. They just go together. Because of this, that's why we chose Horizons as a supplemental resource. So the science of reading, we have really been focusing on the science of reading. We are trying to align our instructions with the latest reading research. You may have heard of the 5 components of reading instruction. So we have the awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension. We have known this for a long, long time. But if you look at this pyramid, you can look at it as in terms of a foundation to reading. And our foundation is supported by phonemic awareness instruction, which we are also working hard to supplement, and phonics. And if those two are not there, that pyramid is going to crumble. If you cannot decode words, you're not going to become fluent. If you can't do that, you can't acquire all that rich vocabulary while you're reading. And the ultimate goal is comprehension. It's not so much that you have to teach those comprehension skills all the time. You can teach them until we're blue in the face, but if they can't decode words, then they're never going to comprehend. Here's another visual. Yes. The symbol, if you're reading, you can look at this as a multiplication fact. So you get a point if you have it, 0 if you don't. So we have decoding times language comprehension. So let's say a child cannot decode, and you've heard those readers, they struggle word for word for word. But maybe they are very knowledgeable with language, and they have a rich vocabulary. Even if they have a rich vocabulary and they cannot decode, then 0 times 1 is still going to be equal to 0. They will not comprehend. Likewise, maybe they can decode, but they don't have that background knowledge or language comprehension. And I believe this compartmentalization is going to help with that. Science and social studies today. Even if that happens, that would be 1 times 0 is equal to 0. So we need 1 times 1 is equal to 1. They are both equally important. And now moving into our daily core 4, and this is what our program is made up of. So looking at the 4 center things, we have review, instruct, dictate, and transfer. So that's what our classroom teachers are doing every day. We're reviewing for a few minutes, 3 minutes, real quick, and then we're instructing for 10 minutes, and it's fast. It's to the point, and it's listen. We tell them what they need to know, and then we move into dictation. Dictation is like spelling, but not like what we used to do when we memorize those words. Dictation is we're teaching the kids to hear the sounds and write down the letters that go with those sounds. So if you know the rules of spelling and you know the rules of our language, you can spell and you can read. Our language isn't as difficult as what we are meant to think. I mean, there are rules for almost every spelling that we have in our language. There's a few things that are a little off, but for the most part. After we dictate, we move on to transfer. Transferring is taking our skill that we have learned, we have dictated, and then we are seeing it again in text. Maybe it's a transfer slide, or it could be a decodable text. I'm going to show you a video. So you can see about 5 minutes what it's like in our classrooms at school. I'm focusing on the Discovery program, which is K-3, and we go backwards. We start 3rd grade, 2nd grade, 1st grade, kindergarten. So you can see like a reverse progression of what's going on. You're going to see the students
what am I marking this? I'm marking my bow. I always mark my bows with my exits, right at the bottom. So I'm going along my racetrack, I'm starting here. I mark my blend. I mark my bow A. And I keep going with E's a bow too, so I'm marking it as a bow. I'm going around my racetrack and I'm telling my E to do what? So I'm putting a line through it and my X. Now do I mark my guard or my consonant? No, because it's not a guarded consonant. Because why? Because Reagan, because what? Because it has letters out there. Because it's not a guardian consonant, isn't all by itself at the end, right? So because that, I'm just leaving that consonant alone, but I'm proving that my A is saying what? A, it's making the long sound, so I mark it with the long one.
Time.
You do that. The next word is bike. Bike.
Bike.
I have a bike that I never ride. Bike. Sound it out. Bike. You got your back there. Let me ask your partner to get it finished. Good.
Frame.
Get back to me.
Frame.
Put the picture in the frame.
I'm looking at my slide chat, but then I know I could turn that slide into a word. What was this word again? Chat.
All right.
Now, if I'm going to mark my word, what do I need to do first?
Oh.
All right, what am I going to art?
The CH.
The CH. And the CH is a what?
Diagram.
A diagram. Good.
Mark your back.
And then next we're going to mark our
Bow.
And my word is
Chat.
You like to chat with your friends.
Yeah.
Chat.
But we don't.
All set?
You bet.
Okay, it's a make-believe word. Listen to me. Your word is chossed. Chossed.
Chossed. Oh, that is a. No.
Chossed.
And that is the.
I might be trying to see if I can trick you again.
While we're marking.
Now, why did we do that?
Because it's a diagram.
That's your.
It's a vowel. And then we do this because it's a special vowel.
And our word is
Chat.
C takes the other three. Write the word kib.
That one is just kib.
Count it out.
Kib.
We hear that it sound. That's right. It. Look, you said it. Find your eye up to Jacob. What is his eye in? That's cut. Now here we've got to look at the vowel sound. Is it going to be a C or K? So you're just going to tell me C, K. But wait till I say letter. Okay? Letter
C.
Good job. Letter
K.
Letter
C.
Letter
K.
Letter
C.
Letter
K.
Good job.
All right, guys, thank you. So, this all comes about, you might ask why I'm showing you guys this, or why our LSIC is doing this, or why our school is taking this initiative to implement a new supplemental reading curriculum, when we have a core adopted curriculum with Newton Mifflin Harcourt. The reason for that is, if you were to ask us what our approach to teaching reading is, we need to be able to answer that question on a solid, science-based, evidence-based approach to teaching reading. And we were lacking in the area of phonics, and this program, through the school, kindergarten through 5th grade, at all levels, addresses what we feel like our need was. So I think that we're going to see a lot of improvement in that area of phonics, and I'm really excited to see those results. I think it's going to be a good investment that we've made. Thank you, all of the teachers so far that have done this. I appreciate you guys. Okay, so we have a lot of representation here with reading. Right, we're going to talk about a success story. I'm going to get out of your way. Go ahead.
I just wanted to take an opportunity to share what I'm seeing in my classroom. I teach special education, and one of the things I was really worried about when I took this position was, what is there for my students? Because they are below grade level. And Reading Horizons is it. I wrote everything down because I really wanted to make sure you heard everything I wanted to say too. So this program is changing the lives of my students. When we started this year, there was no confidence at all. They knew some of the individual letter sounds, most of them. Y and W were really tricky for them. But they struggled severely to isolate those sounds and words and correctly identify them. Sometimes they could get beginning sounds, but middle and ending sounds were not there at all. They could not identify vowels in words either, or distinguish one vowel from another vowel. They also had the most basic sight word knowledge and would repeatedly say to me, I can't read and I don't know how. Now, we're in December, and my students are identifying beginning and ending sounds in isolation independently. And they are developing the skills to isolate medial sounds as well. They can also correctly identify all the vowels and their short sounds. They are consistently writing and reading CBC words without help. Also, part of the Reading Horizons program is sight word knowledge, and they have developed so much this year already. And what I've done is I've linked or posted just some data I'm collecting for myself to show the growth. We have used orthographic mapping, which goes along with the science of reading, and Reading Horizon has game supplements that I use as well to build that sight word knowledge. But the best part has been the increasing confidence I've seen. Their willingness to try is incredible, and now students are bringing things to me, toys, packaging, stuff in their planner, and they're saying, look, I can read this, and they're reading it to me, and it's beautiful. And I could go on about all the growth, but I hope that you can see the benefit that this program is making, especially in special education. Thank you.
It doesn't really matter what program you have. If you don't put your heart into it, it's not going to really work. You can see we're putting our heart into this stuff. Thank you. So we do a lot. Obviously, our main focus here at Gilmer Elementary, obviously safety, but our eyes are on academics all the time. We're really protecting instructional time. Show up. We also like to have fun. We also like to do special things for kids. And boy, do we have a really good PTO that does a great job with that. They fundraise. They just put on all kinds of opportunities for our kids. So I really appreciate our PTO president, Gretchen Carter, is here. And I told her she had to keep this under 20 minutes. She was getting it like I had 3 minutes. But I just appreciate her. She spends a lot of time on our entire PTO. We have staff, we have parents on this PTO. It's a small PTO, but it's a very dedicated PTO where they're just doing special things all the time. It's not just fundraising. Our students see the reward of that. And I can go we'll let Gretchen talk a little bit about it. And this motion. If you want to, next slide, just hit that button. Well, he was.
Hi, Vice President. Hi, thank you for having us this evening. This is Gretchen Carter, the president of the PTO, and I'm Julie Busby, the vice president. We have Miranda Canfield as she's our treasurer, and Brandy Smith, our secretary. And I think we have a really good group this year. We have a lot of new membership, I think, and a lot of love. So we prepare our budget in August for this school year, and one of the first things we had planned was our second annual Boo Bash. I think it went very well. We had really good participation, and one of the main goals that we had is strengthening our community partnerships. I think we saw this with Boo Bash. We had a lot of community participation. Aramark and the college donated all of our food. We didn't make any money. This was just a good fun event for the kids. We also we had a ton of support from our families, our staff here at the school. I think it was a really good event. Let's see. Our pen wars. Now this was our first real fundraiser this year. We did pretty well, I think. Our fifth grade, you can see, they were very competitive this year. They really wanted to win, and they didn't even know what they were doing. They didn't even know. They wanted to win. So anyway, they're going to be having a pizza party this week. Our partner, Aramark, is also going to be doing the pizza for that event. So that's going to be really nice for our kids. All right, and then Santa Shop. We just completed this event. But we usually don't do this as a fundraiser, but we did mark up our
Well, the dollars were different, right?
yes, the dollars
$1.25. We didn't want to go on that page.
So we did a slight markup on all of our items just and did a little bit of a fundraiser. But we mostly do this for the kids. You know, we did this all week long so that they can come and buy gifts for their loved ones. And it was a really good event too. We had some gift certificates that went out for some of the students and they could buy things if they weren't able. Mr. Price helped us go and pick out some of these items. It was all in all, I think, a really good event. We had a lot of help with this too, through PTO and staff, and people that aren't even staff or PTO.
Yeah, just
Came and helped. It was fantastic. Oh, some upcoming events we were going to talk about.
Yeah.
We have our Valentine's Dance coming up, and we're going to provide some drinks and a DJ and just a nice fun little thing for the kids. Our bingo fundraiser is coming up at the end of March. At the end of March, that's our big fundraiser usually for the year. We always get a lot of help with that, help support. We have Teacher Appreciation Week that we always try to get all the teachers a little something every day. It's one of the things we do with our fundraising. And then a school field trip. This year, we did the same thing last year. We provided all of the students with a field trip to the movies with our funds that we raise for the school. And we're looking into, this is empty right now, we're looking into sponsorship to buy all the students a podcast t-shirt possibly. If we can find someone to provide that for us.
Very realistic dynamic.
Yes. That's it. I think that's everything. Please come.
So, I missed my cue there. Mrs. Parent is our the president of our LSIC. I serve as an ex officio on the LSIC, but she is the head officer of the LSIC. And really, a lot of this evening, it has absolutely been a team effort, but really, Mrs. Parent has led that as the president of the LSIC. So thank you. She's going to just talk a little bit about just things that have been going on here at school.
Good evening. I'd like to show you some of the things that we have here at our school. We have some wonderful things happening.
our open house. And the staff came in one evening prior to school opening, and the students and families got to go in and got to meet their classrooms or their teachers in their classrooms. And that was really important this year because of departmentalization, so they were able to figure out their schedule and be a little bit more relaxed on the first day of school. On our first day of school this year, Mrs. Tanya Stewart, she is our liaison for Glenville State University, and she organized the students coming in, the Glenville State University students coming in and welcoming the staff and the students here. So we had a lot of super excited children and pleasantly surprised staff. We all felt like movie stars walking around. We have student interns. This is Stormy Alderson and Kylie Hayes. They came here and they did their first semester of teaching here. I think Stormy was in preschool, and then she went to 3rd and 4th grade, and then Callie was in kindergarten, and then she moved up to 3rd and 4th grade. Miss West organized the planned Grandparents' Day. Grandparents got to come in and spend the afternoon reading to their grandchildren. We had a lot of smiling faces that day. Attendance is a very important part in the educational process. So if we do not have students attending, then we cannot educate them. So we try to adapt to fun things to get the kids to come to school. So we had an attendance spirit week, as you can see, we have the John Day, the Career Day, the Hero and Princess Day, favorite team, and then a school collar day. Another awesome program that we have is the Birth Start program. This is offered once a month for children birth to 3. They can come in and the preschool teachers, they do little lessons with them one Friday a month. We have the Spontaneous Incentive Awards, which again, whenever students come, they don't know when this is planned. Tracy Arden, Julie Busby, and Michelle Workman, they work together and say, you might just come to school today and then you get a special snack for today. Showing up. So if you're not here, you're not going to get that special incentive. Another thing that, again, going back with partnering with GSU, we have the Reading 414 program. Dr. Shelley Rathman comes in. The semester changes. I think this year we had 5 students came in. They picked the first grade. They worked with the first graders for 2 times a week for 30 minutes. So one child and one college student would work. They would do testing, see where their deficiencies are, and then they would provide them 60 minutes a week of extra tutoring. Heritage Day, that is the day that we have in October. This is just an opportunity for children to see West Virginian trades. We had 20 stations, and the students were able to attend 12 of the 20 stations. Unity Day is a day where the students and the staff join together and we discuss the importance of standing up against bullying. And this is Good Night. She organized this event, and this is our whole staff and students all together going together wearing our orange shirts for Unity Day. Literacy Fair, Miss West organized. Literacy Fair, Miss West, she organized that. It was held on October the 21st. The students pick a book of their choice and then they do a project on it. Mrs. Lane, as you can see earlier, she does a phenomenal job with organizing the band and the choir. She does programs for every grade. So this was her 3rd and 4th grade music concert in October. I believe it had a 70 tie-dye theme. The 5th grade ceremony was the Veterans Day ceremony. Again, this is organized by Mrs. Leggett. And this one is very near and dear to my heart. You can see that the students are performing there, but then the students also get to honor the veterans. And so they recognize them individually, and then they present them with a certificate. Miss West, she was up here earlier for Save the Children. One of the activities that they did was Nachos for Numeracy in November. We have the pleasure of having the GSU band actually come to us. The students were very excited that the brought 6 small animals and taught our students about the regions, the characteristics, and the care that each animal required. Then we got to attend the jazz concert. This is like it made the arrangements with Mr. Barr. This is an opportunity that if this was not done, any students would never have the opportunity to attend a jazz concert. So we look forward to attending this every year. And then I would like to thank you for joining us this evening, and as the old saying goes, it takes a village to raise a child. And we certainly have the staff, administration, school system, and community support at Gilmer County Elementary School.
The goal here, guys, was right at an hour to not go for forever, and by God, we just go about 5 minutes. So Mrs. Parrott, thank you again. You guys did a great job with this. I'm glad to be a part of it. I'm honored to be a part of it. We do have today prepared some light refreshments for this for you guys, for the board, after this meeting. So please stick around for a couple minutes and mingle with us. I know you have a meeting to attend to, so I'm going to get out of the way. We did thank you guys very much for having letting us have the opportunity to show off some of the highlights. I'm sure I missed some things. If you guys have any questions for me, I'm glad to answer them.
That's a good sound. I mean, I am totally amazed at your presentations this evening. It's really great. You know, there's good things I can see. You know, happening here every day. You guys are on the front lines of it. You know, we just meet twice a month and try to support you the best we can. But like I said, I'm really excited and thrilled to see the presentations this evening. And board member, how do you call?
I know Colton is very excited at the fifth grade one. Every stage, he does not know why, but, oh, and he's going to get a Hershey bar for completing some extra homework that he brought home. Give him a Hershey bar every day. Whatever it takes. Yes, whatever it takes. Yes, you all do a great job for the kids, but it's a pleasure working.
All right, if it's okay with the board, we'll take a 5-minute recess real quick, and that way you can enjoy refreshments. If anybody needs to use the bathroom or anything, we'll take a 5-minute break. that cover to the end of it, or does that?
No, that's just initial, that's just equipment, that doesn't include anything, that's just for some of the units that we have on. Yeah, so I didn't want to anyway, but in the world, just a FYI heads up for you. Are there any other questions with the schedule of checks that we read? You want to do these individually?
So I'll entertain a motion to, schedule. Okay, I got a motion, I mean, yep, in a second. All right, is there any, we moved and approved to, is it moved and seconded to approve the schedule of checks to be written, is there any discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. All right.
The next thing that I have under the treasurer's report are the monthly financial reports. We are catching up. Yes, we were behind. Typically, the way that works, and the state likes to see it, this will be on our accountability grading that the state will do under finance. It's kind of the timeliness of these reports. Typically, those are due like the 8th of the following month. So November would have been due by December the 8th. November's is in, October's is done, it's in process. November's is in process now. One of the questions or one of the issues that we have run into with the as a county is that we don't get our bank statements until the 15th of the month. We do have online banking. That was the question that Mr. Freshour had asked me. Do we not get online? But we do. But the format of those reports right now from United are more as like you printing off your check register. It doesn't really have a beginning and ending bank balance that you would typically see on the beginning of your statement. That is something I'm working through. That is something that we will have to work through in order to meet these accountability requirements by the state. Are there any questions with the monthly financial reports?
All right, I'll entertain a motion. It's been moved and seconded that we approve the monthly financial reports. Is there any further discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. All right, we will move into new business, and the first item is election of vice president. So this time I'll open the floor for nominations.
I'd like to nominate Mr. Freshour for vice president.
Second. Is there any further nominations?
I'd like to nominate Brett Chapman.
Is there a second? All right, hearing this second, that motion does die. So at this point in time, we only have one candidate. So, Mr. Freshour, congratulations, by acclamation, you are now vice president. All right, we will move on to, for approval policy 1050 nepotism. That was worked on by the policy committee. And, it's been out for 30 days on, for public review and comment. And so now it's just up for, approval by the board.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve policy 1050 on nepotism.
Second. All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve, policy 1050 on nepotism. Is all in favor? Is there any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. All right, we will go to adopting state board policy 2419. Superintendent, do you have any information you can give us or anything for that?
This was due to House Bill 4600, kind of requirement to update 2419. You found a copy of those updates in your packet. And not only do we need to adopt that state policy, we need to provide training and so forth, and we'll be doing that in the future. And I recommend to make that adoption. It is the regulations for the education students with exceptionalities. So you have that in your packet, the updates to that, and those are lots of different types of updates, and some of those updates reflect the legislature's updates and so forth.
Make a motion that we adopt state board policy 2419 on Superintendent Dr. Denny's recommendation.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt state board policy 2419, with Dr. Minnie's recommendation. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. We will now move on to West Virginia Brown facility valuation increase. Dr. Minnie, do you have anything we need to discuss there?
Just like in your packet, it states that when Brent came and did the evaluation, a cost valuation on our buildings, it was stated that they were not insured at 100% of their replacement cost. And due to that, we were offered the availability to increase the coverage, and in round numbers, around $6,000 is what the increase would be yearly, to bring this up to 100% of their replacement cost. That $6,000 would purchase about 16 million. Is that what it was? That's correct. $16 million worth of additional coverage to bring this up in case something catastrophic can happen to our building. And those are round numbers, of course. I can get you those exact numbers, but we would like to be able to have our buildings covered at 100% replacement cost, just in case something catastrophic would ever happen.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the West Virginia Burn Facility Evaluation increase.
Been moved and seconded that we approve the West Virginia Brown facility valuation increase. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? So that'll be 4 with 1 abstention. Motion carries. All right. Then we'll move on to old and unfinished business, which is county purchases over 5,000. Dr. Minnie, do you have anything?
This has been on the agendas for a while, and I've completed my research with the policy, West Virginia Department of Education policy, 8100 and 8200. In these policies, it has direct requirements that boards of education use, so we don't mishandle any of the funds. I recommend using these, especially in today's circumstances, and make that our county practice from here on forth with purchases over $5,000. It spells out in there what type of purchase, what you have to do for each type of purchase. So I think that this practice was put in place when it was needed, but now with the price increases and things, we don't want to limit ourselves from it. And I would recommend following that West Virginia Department of Education policy 8100 and 8200 as defined in their state policy.
I make a motion that we follow State Code 8100 8200 upon Dr. Benny's recommendation. And,
Lisa, do you know if we even need a motion? Because it was my understanding.
we made that. We did that as a board beforehand. So there's something wrong with it. Somebody has made a motion, like an order board, to make that happen.
But I don't think it was a motion, was it? I think it was just a preference of that board. It was never put into any type of policy, so I think we just need to let them know as a board that we.
Don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
I make a motion.
I mean, that was the way it was explained to me. I wasn't there when it happened, but that was the way it was explained to me. So, is that what you? So, I think as a board, we just want to follow state policy on finance.
I think we have a motion. Like I said, there's a motion still on the floor, so if there's a second, which I'll second it, then we'll proceed with that motion, and that way there's clarification. Okay. So So, all right, it has been moved and seconded to follow state policy 8100 and 8200. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. All right, we'll move on to the personnel agenda, Dr. Manning.
Okay, under the personnel, professionals, make the following recommendation for the professional personnel agenda. Andrew Butcher, substitute teacher, Gilmer County Schools. Callie Hayes, substitute teacher, Gilmer County Schools. Callie was one of the early restricted substitutes from Glenville State University with an associate's degree, and now completed the teaching and graduate this past Saturday, so she'll be a regular substitute, if that makes any clarification. So,
Make a motion to approve the professional part of the personnel agenda for December 12th.
Second. All right, it's been moved that we approve the professional section of the personnel agenda for December 12th meeting. Is there any further discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. All right, move to the next section.
next section is extracurricular. Make the recommendation of Katie Lehman for resignation auxiliary cheer coach. Also make the recommendation for head affairs to be the after-school tutor at Gilmer County High School. Thomas Hammer to be the auxiliary mini Titan wrestling coach, and Okie Starkey to be the auxiliary mini Titan wrestling coach.
Make a motion to approve the extracurricular portion of the personnel list for December 12th meeting.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the extracurricular section of the personnel agenda for December 12th, 2022 regular meeting. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. We have permission to post section.
Yes, permission to post the auxiliary elementary basketball coach, 4th and 5th grade, 4 positions. These would provide extra coaching to the current coaches, help basically alleviate the pressure of coaching all those young folks by themselves. So I could get permission to post those auxiliary elementary basketball positions.
Make a motion to approve the permission to post section of the personnel list for December 12th meeting.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve the permission to post section of the personnel agenda for the December 12th, 2022 regular meeting. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Or to information, discussion, and possible action, and the first item is board member committee appointment. I asked for this to be put on the agenda again, for Lisa to provide all the board members with a copy of the committees that they're currently on. I didn't know if any board member wanted to change committees. We did get our 5th board member added, and if there,
How do we do this? Do we make a motion to do this, or do we just talk this out? How is this done?
we do not have to have a motion according to Lisa.
I would like to see, Dustin as, you know, I'd like to step down from that, because Dustin is one that I like to do on that audit. And I'd like to step down.
Okay. And Jason left down from safety. Okay.
I'd like to continue with safety.
Okay. All right, Lisa, are you okay?
I'm okay, I'm okay.
And then, all right, and Dr. Benny had a recommendation that he would also like to present here in this section.
And if you guys feel, we are going to be working on attendance as a part of our accountability measures, and that was one of the areas that we're deficient in district-wide. So I think attendance would be an area that would greatly help our accountability data, and would be an area that we do need someone in that area. So if you would like to have somebody that would like to jump on that, there's going to be a lot of good work to be done as a part of that.
Lisa, I'd like to be added to safety.
Okay.
All right, is there any further committee changes that we need any board members to know? And I think we're good to go to the next item.
I would also, actually, no, I'd like to be on the substance abuse prevention, with Hillary as well.
Right. That committee, are we going to be working with you, because I know you're doing a lot of new things, and I'm
We
just not
have
sure
just,
what's.
we have just started the charge of that, we're just getting the stakeholder group, we met last week, Brandon and I did. We've got some initial work to set up the meetings and things, and probably, I want to hope that we'll have our first meeting before Christmas, but it's probably gonna be after, we'll be pretty close to
Sounds like
starting.
a problem for 2023.
Exactly.
I can fill in on the,
Except for me, because it needs a second person, doesn't fill in, he said.
Dustin, where do you live at, may I ask? What's that? Ox's Mills, so I'm actually past all.
We're just trying to get a ceiling to maybe.
If it's a career center, really,
That's
career
Yeah,
center,
yeah.
extension really just needs one.
Yeah, the same way with the.
Yeah, we need career just needs one. So is it killing everything else? Oh, well, attendance.
attendance.
Right?
In case he doesn't go on attendance.
That's right.
And Lisa, if you don't care, once you get that readjusted,
I'll
could you
send
send
it
that
back.
out to me,
Mhm.
please?
Mm-hmm.
So that makes.
All right, so we will move on now to the next item, electronic participation in executive session. Some backstory to this item is the policy committee is working on redoing policy 1030, which is board meetings. And, the previous board president, had concerns about, of course, electronic devices in executive session, whether that was allowed or not. So the committee has basically, the committee wanted to ask and give the board basically the board's opinion on, whether we feel that, cell phones and things should be allowed in executive sessions. I do believe Dr. Minnick has a recommendation, for us that I'll let him present now, and then if we have any further discussion, we can go ahead with that discussion once his recommendation is finished.
Well, and I read, what, our board attorney, Howard Super, stated. I also read through a whole bunch of Robert's Rules of Order information, and understanding the definition of executive session, none is trying to be private, especially in a situation where you be discussing student or personnel issues. I would recommend that, in order to participate in an executive session, all members be in person and there not be any electronic devices used during executive session. That would be my recommendation, due to being able to keep the integrity of the private session for the members and keeping all of that stuff in line for this board and future boards.
Well, I just want to play devil's advocate, which I don't feel overly strongly one way or the other. But, there, in medicine, there are platforms that I can have patient-doctor encounters on that are, secure, or in my case, HIPAA compliant, which you all may have the same thing in education, that, if a platform such as Teams or something was used during the executive session where you had some, reasonable assumption that it would be private. And then the other aspect of that is, if you exclude someone, a board member voting after after the rest of the board would come out of the executive session. So they would be voting without the benefit of knowing what went on in the executive session. And that's why we brought it to you all, because I'm not sure that there is a right answer. I guess it's just what everyone is comfortable with doing. I mean, what do you all think? I think.
Good they could draft
Think what?
I see the point you're making.
You know, there are
That's like we
arguments.
call Dustin in executive session.
Yes.
To, you know, just to talk.
Yes. Does anyone have any experience, like on other boards, what they do?
Yeah, I mean, it's not uncommon, most boards are virtual, components nowadays that I've seen, but, obviously, there is a confidential agreement that any board has. A lot of it, obviously, the companies are private boards, so that's announced at the start that everybody's has to agree to comply with confidentiality and agree that, the business of the company is not going to be discussed out, now, during the action that, be in a private area, we have those, but, so I'm not sure if that would be something.
Maybe we could have them write up something that we read before we bring somebody in electronically like that, saying, you know, do you swear that you're in a confidential area?
Yeah, I don't know if that would be something you could do for executive, to add comfort, that stuff is taken seriously and is being discussed.
The part I hate about excluding is that that person votes without the benefit of
That's what you're saying.
knowing what
Or they
went on.
just say, wow.
So I don't know. Dr. Barr, do you feel one way or the other?
I do agree that, my biggest issue is legally, I don't think we can keep them from voting once we come back into, once we end executive session. So that's the biggest issue I really have.
So do you feel we should let them attend or we should? I mean, it's a difficult call, and that's why we're right here.
I think it's going to go in that direction anyway, so.
And that's kind of how I feel.
Yeah.
So we just don't, we just don't move on anything right here.
I can't finish my policy.
Yeah. If it's not gonna be in the new policy, technically.
I would just urge you that you guys are members, trusting members, one day, and the reason why I made this recommendation with future boards, you don't know who may be on that board that might have a family member, a recording, a so on and so forth to keep your, and those types of things could put the board at liability.
That is true too. I mean, it's not an easy
Exactly.
call.
It could put the board at liability for things that were brought out, as far as personnel, especially with personnel student discipline.
But now, a part of me thinks that there should be accountability too with being a board member, but of course we can't control what other people do, so. Like I said, I mean, my biggest issue is that person, we can't stop them from voting, so they're gonna make a vote based on not all the information, I guess that's my biggest.
Or only board members, like that would be the only reasons the electronics is just to put a board member in conversation or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's, the policy isn't attempting to be broad, saying you can't take your cell phone and, we're gonna pat you down or anything. It's only to participate in that executive session.
But you're saying only for our board members?
Yes, only for us. Like if I'm in.
I really don't see a wrong with it.
If I'm in Timbuktu and.
As long as your board members should have some integrity, take these questions. You just don't make phone calls. Easy enough. Come to me. Everybody comes to me and I'm not worried about it.
Well, I'm struggling with not enough information over, I guess, like I said, back to the confidentiality and, holding people accountable, but like the ability we have as a board. If something would come out later, what we could do about it. I understand, people make an informed decision, just the same thing with the council, they can understand people vote for that. And so our concern is, well, but yeah, same thing, we can't make them not report something and talk about it outside when they're not supposed to. So if we had teeth, I would be able to decide something a little bit easier, I think, on that. I think my opinion would be probably to, stay the course as is and revisit it once we have some sort of teeth of confidentiality or holding people accountable. I mean, unfortunately, I don't think, we need something to do.
And do we want to, I don't know, add something into the policy about confidentiality agreement? I mean, I think we have a lot of leeway in this instance. And, I mean, I want to do the right thing, but I'm not sure what that is in this specific.
What was your recommendation again? My recommendation was to, in order to participate in executive session, all members must be in person, there will be no electronic devices used during the executive session. The reason why I make that recommendation is we could have all the confidentiality agreements and so on and so forth, but when it boils down to a real personnel matter and something is violated, we would be put at risk as a board if somebody violates that financially. And that's the reason why. We're not going to be able to prevent somebody, even if they would violate that, we can slap somebody on the wrist and say, well, no, you're not allowed to do it anymore. But the whole point of my recommendation would be, if somebody was in a room, wouldn't even have to be a recording and heard somebody was, being ripped and transferred, and that gets out to the employee, and then we get a grievance about that. And, there's going to be all sorts of things that could be used. And, one thing about this isn't private world, this is public world, and we can't let those types of things happen. Without liability.
I'd like to make a motion to follow Dr. Betty's recommendation with changing that. If you want to go into executive session, you want to be in executive session. That's the only thing you're missing. You can still the rest of the meeting, and I know the vote's not there, but if that important of the matter, I would have to leave it all.
Maybe move the item to, something.
Right, and that's something as a board,
Yeah,
you
we
can
don't-
Try to
definitely accommodate practice as a board for sure.
So I have a
So,
motion.
I need specifics. Right, so like,
The specific,
this that I sent you here from the lawyer, you want to use this verbiage?
yeah, I tell you what, we can table my motion and you can make it off.
Well,
that's all we're doing is just saying, if we go to this, one of us board members can be on the phone in regular meeting, but if we go into executive session, we have to. It's just it's not so much for us as it is, those vulnerable, whoever the vulnerable person is that we may be or may not be talking about in
and of
that
course,
executive session.
he put the, clause in here, that if we want to do it that way by excluding, then we have to put the clause in here that, if the West Virginia Department of Health has issued an order that prohibits the board from holding it in person, in that case, you could do a virtual executive session. Because if we can't be in person, then we have to have, some way to still decide. So, if you want to just, I guess, just make your motion to follow from,
right now, Brent, for a second on Brent's motion, it
Yeah,
dies for
let's
lack
say-
of a second.
let's feel it.
And then, if we need a motion, for the
so I'm going to make a motion about electronic, board member attendance and participation in board meetings. I'm going to make the motion that we follow the legal guidance from Rick Booth.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved, we follow the legal guidance from Bowles Rice Attorney with me. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. What's the hardest Alright, and so now we're back to another topic from that same policy, and that is Board of Education members voting by proxy during the regular meeting. Are we going to allow that, or are we not going to allow that?
I don't think I like that.
And I don't like that at all with my.
Call in, yeah.
So I'll make a motion that we do not, allow Board of Education members voting by proxy.
Is there a second? Okay. So moved and seconded that we do not allow Board of Education members to vote by proxy. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. All right. We're on to the superintendent's update.
Okay, I'll try to be quick as I can. I know this is a long update. Based off our West Virginia accountability data results, we have Matt Hicks coming from the West Virginia Department of Education, January 23rd at 2 p.m. to do a work session. This is when we're going to get all of that information on exactly how the accountability system works. Board members will be trained on that system, exactly what goals and action steps we need to take, we will create. But say, for instance, when Clay was talking finance, it will spell out in that accountability what we need to do with finance, what our monthly reporting obligations are, exactly what our goals is with all the different criteria, finance, school accountability measures, attendance, behavior. You guys will get that full training. On December 2nd, I went to a superintendent's meeting. The West Virginia Department of Education State Superintendent, Dr. Roach, was there. I wanted to give you an update. His main focus that he really wants to focus on is literacy by the 3rd grade. Early intervention, the science of reading was the biggest topic. Really focusing in on that science of reading, phonics, phonemic awareness, vocabulary fluency, comprehension. The pendulum is starting to swing back to that type of instruction. I think that we're totally on board with that type of thing. We need lots more training. We discussed training, what the state could provide. We talked about the Grow Your Own program. I don't know if you guys have heard about that, but we've also been in contact with Mr. Putnam and trying to figure out, can we expand that CDE program to include us, partner with Glenville State University. Another update is there's a new job posting bank coming out this year. Counties must use that bank. It's in West Virginia code that all things must roll through that. We're going to be getting training on that and how our job postings will flow from here on out. So you'll be here to give updates on that new job posting bank. We focused on the science of reading. We completed exercise. I was on the text at Mr. Price trying to figure out all these different things with our Reading Horizons program, and they do work really good with all of the different components of that science of reading. And we focused on exercises there as superintendents of what we can improve on. We got a presentation by Curriculum Associates on reading and phonics in the direction the state is headed. Another quick update, as a part of becoming the new superintendent, I was appointed a mentor from the West Virginia Department of Education. He's retired superintendent from Jackson County. His name is Dwayne Hess. He'll be coming to Gilmer County and working with me at least one time per month, which we've already worked together. And I think that that's going to be a very good partnership for us, for me and us as a board. He's got a really good insight as long-term superintendent in Jackson County. I was asked to provide a safety update for this meeting with all the safety concerns and so forth. I've talked with Mr. Frazier, verified that we are still using the Collar Code alert system in our schools. This alert system was developed by Reese 7 years ago. We've used it for a long time. It's a good system. Our staff has received a lot of training over the years. I think they know this system. Without providing a lot of specification or broadcasting specifics about our safety plan, we have a good safety plan. I think that in case of an emergency, we would be able to respond very quickly and assess our threats. I've talked with our Eric Squires, our Homeland Security person here in the county. We do have to complete a district emergency operation plan and get that submitted. So that's an update. I talked with Mr. Squires about potential threats and false threats, something to build in. As you guys are well aware, these false threats are happening all across the nation. So talk with him about building those types of things, and we've got a plan for that. It's pretty much the same plan as if it's a real threat, treat everything like it's real, and so on and so forth. Call 911, have the school team assess the threat, district and first responders, and the fusion center, and everybody come together on those types of things. I will say that we need to schedule, and I'd like to schedule from this meeting, a safety team committee meeting with the full team sometime in early January. So if that's something we can do, I would really greatly appreciate it. Next of January, yeah, somewhere in the first part of January, we really need to make sure that we have all of those updates and things ready to go. Like I said, we've got a little bit of things here to submit with Eric and talk with Mr. Squires about, and we should be up to date. We have a plan that is in place. It's been practiced here. It was actually in practice here before I left many years ago. It is a good system, and I think that just an update on that system would do everybody good. Facilities update. I've worked with Mr. Frazier, Mr. Chesser. We've been on the horn to our architects, giving you an update here on all these different things. The GCHS secure entry, we're at substantial completion. That's been given to the contractor. There is some tile that needs to be updated that's bubbling up. They're going to come over Christmas break and update that tile that's happening to, where those imperfections are at, over Christmas break. So that project should wrap up very soon. The GCHS lockers, they're on track to demo installed January 13th through 16th. The old lockers are going to be removed and hauled out that same day. It's going to be a lot of work getting those taken out and put in. There will be some minor cosmetics, of course, where they're behind unpainted walls and things from where the old lockers were at that we'll have to update after that, but the main demo and install is going to take January 13th through 16th. We have a drainage issue out back of GCHS. We have to get this fixed before the meat room goes in. So what we did was went ahead and gave the SLS to go ahead to advertise. SLS would be conducting a mandatory pre-bid meeting. They'll be conducting a bid opening, and the superintendent will bring a recommendation when ready, when we get those bids to the board in the near future. Gilmer County Elementary School storage building, we met and discussed going ahead and getting that advertised so we can get an idea about that building. That's something for you guys to approve soon. So we advertised week 1 on December 7th. We've got to advertise again December 14th. December 16th, the mandatory pre-bid meeting. December 28th is the bid opening for that project. And then hopefully by January 9th, we'll be able to bring some things in front of you all for approval. The animal processing classroom, the architect is working on finalizing the plans on the grading system. That system is the system that takes the animal from a truck through the facility. They are not there yet with that. That is one thing that we have to do as far as getting that from the architects. We are going to need one more one-on-one face-to-face meetings with Gilmer County Schools. Once the finalized plans will be submitted to the SBA. The SBA allows 2 weeks to review. After that 2 weeks, it's 2 weeks of advertising. After that 2 weeks for pre-bid meetings, bidding, and bid opening. We did hold a phone conference with the architects and laid out a kind of a timeline. And I made it clear, and I think so did Mr. Frazier, that we want to be able to use that for animal processing in the fall. And they are aware of that, and we'll be checking on that process. Mr. Frazier is checking on that weekly with these other projects, but we're going to make sure that we can make that happen. That's all my updates. Any questions?
All right, we'll move on to the board member comments, and I'll give a brief update here first. On Tuesday, November the 15th, the Leading Creek Governance Board met. We've got a principal's report that for enrollment, there's 127 students that currently attend Leading Creek. Out of those students, 22 of those are Gilmer County, and one of those is from Doddridge County. They give us an update about their test scores. They said they're basically matching the surrounding counties and stuff, and some low areas in math, and especially in reading. But they are practicing on their I-Ready software, and they're completing IMAs to get those test scores up. As far as personnel, they were good. They had anybody leave or had to fill any positions recently. Curriculum changes, they're still working on their I-Ready lessons and making sure those are implemented. And everything was good on finance and facilities, according to their principal over there. And their bus schedule, they're working on coordinating with Gilmer County, and early out dismissal on December 21st, because Lewis County's on our own dismissals, we'll have to send buses over there to bring those Gilmer County students home early with that dismissal. Under the old new business, they welcomed new superintendent, Dr. Rennie, and got Borean into the group. Yes, the only real action item that was taken was Mrs. Lowder was the vice president of that committee, and so since she retired, we had to pick a vice president for that committee, and I was elected vice president of that governing board. So, and there was no delegation. The next meeting for the Leading Creek Governance Committee will be February 14th, 2023 at 9 a.m. via Teams. And that's what was about.
I'd just like to say, just the LSIC presentations again, that was just amazing. Just to see everything that the school system's doing. And like, I see some of it at home. I have pre-K, a second grader, and it kind of like what Clay said, it kind of shows me the full circle of things. And it's just, I feel very fortunate to have my children come here. And I know others out there watching, maybe thinking about coming to the school system here. And maybe if they would see that, I think it would be really beneficial because we're making things happen.
Any other board comments?
Thank you for having us and for the presentation, the snacks, and doing good